بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Continuing with what we mentioned yesterday, that a person whose two strengths, the قوة غضبية and قوة شهوية, when they are balanced, then this person has a third characteristic which becomes balanced because of those two being balanced, and that is a قوة عقلية, or you can say the intellectual strength that a person has. When a person's two physical strengths are balanced, then a person's aql becomes balanced, and this in turn helps a person become spiritually balanced as well, and helps their ruh become balanced. Now, based upon this, there's a saying in regards to the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum in the science of hadith. In the science of hadith, we say that as-sahabatu kulluhum adul. That the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, when it comes to their adala is basically a grading which is done on each narrator of hadith, that what level is this person, what is the characteristics of this person, are they suitable to narrate from, unsuitable to narrate from. So one of the aspects that are looked at is the adala of the individual. Right, so there's a famous saying in the science of hadith that as-sahabatu kulluhum adul. Now when it comes to the sahaba, meaning if there's any sahabi who's a narrator, then automatically that narrator, meaning the sahabi, is considered adil, is considered just. Right, so one basic translation of adala is just, meaning they're just and they're suitable to narrate hadith. Right, so it comes in regards to Sahaba radiallahu anhu that all of them were adil, all of them were balanced, meaning they were suitable for hadith narration. Right, so the reason of that is because all of the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, because of being in the company of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were all spiritually balanced. Right, because they're two, you can say they're two strengths which they had, the quwwat al-ghadabiyya, quwwat al-shahawiyya. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had trained them in such a way that they were balanced, and because of that, mentally and they were stable as well. Intellectually they were stable, and that led to them spiritually being stable as well. That is why we see some hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right, that he would say, "La taghdab," do not become angry. Right? Now, when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "La taghdab," that did not mean get rid of anger. It means to control your anger. That is why in another hadith, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that "Laysa shadidu bis-sur'ati, innama shadidu alladhi yamliku nafsahu 'inda al-ghadab." He said that the one who is strong is not the one who overthrows his opponent. The strong one is the one who controls himself when he's angry. He didn't say the strong one is the one who is never angry. The one who controls himself when he's angry. Anger is going to be there, but you have to know how to control yourself. Same thing when it comes to, so that's quwwat al-ghadabiyya, controlling it. That hadith is proving that you control quwwat al-ghadabiyya. You don't get rid of it. Another hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, famous hadith, al-qayyisu man dana nafsa, that the intellectual one is the one who controls his nafs. Meaning nafs and desires are there, but you have to know how to control it. You don't get rid of your desires, because we just explained that quwwat al-shahawiyya, the other characteristic, you need it to survive, but you have to know how to control it. Right? So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he gave the Sahaba these teachings without exactly saying, "Oh, this is tazkiyah," but he was there. Why yuzakkihim? One of the responsibilities of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was to do the tazkiyah of the Sahaba. So this is how he did tazkiyah of the Sahaba. So all the Sahaba, they were adil, they were just. Right? So we are saying that when a person's these two characteristics are balanced, and a person's third characteristic, the intellectual ability, aqliya, quwwat aqliya, this becomes balanced, and a person is, from a spiritual perspective, he or she is balanced. Now, when it comes to the ruh, what is the need of the ruh? Right? So today we'll just briefly introduce this, and next time we'll go into more detail. That when it comes to the spiritual, so we explain how the physical body needs to, what are the needs of the physical body. We explain those two characteristics. How about the ruhani body, our spiritual body, your spiritual self, or ruh? What are the needs of the ruh? So for the ruh, if a person's ruh is imbalanced because of those other characteristics being imbalanced, then just how if your body is sick, then you need to see a doctor to get medication. So similarly, if a person's ruh is imbalanced, then a person will need to seek cure. He will need to seek ilaj. He will need to seek some kind of medicine. So for that, you have to go to the spiritual doctor who is a sheikh. And the sheikh will prescribe that this is the spiritual medicine which you need. Right? You have to recite, these adhkar, you have to do these actions. This will help get rid of your spiritual ailments. Whether a person has an ailment of, person is spiritually ill because maybe he has too much pride, he has too much anger inside, or he has too much shahwa inside. So the sheikh will guide the person how they can cure those spiritual illnesses. So many spiritual illnesses, which some of them probably being talked about as well on a daily basis, right? Some different actions, right? So many spiritual illnesses. So Shaykh will guide how to cure that. So Shaykh will do the ilaj. And once the ruh is, once all the illnesses are cured and the person is physically fit, then they need to also, just how you need to nourish your body, you need to nourish your soul as well. You need food for the soul, right? You need spiritual food. So spiritual food is an a'mal of an individual, a'mal. And even food, when a person eats food every single day, so one is that if you're sick, you need to take your medication. Once you're, once the sickness goes away, then you need to make sure you remain nourished, otherwise you'll get sick again. You need to eat food. Even when you eat food, what do you eat? You eat healthy food, and even that healthy food is not like, oh, this is salad, now let me eat 5 bowls of salad. You don't eat 5 bowls. So you have to eat healthy, but even that healthy you have to eat in a limit, right? Because if you overeat that healthy food as well, then even then you can become sick. So even when it comes to a'mal are also there, but there's also a limit for that, right? You cannot overeat in the food as well, in the spiritual food as well. For example, Fajr Salah, if someone says, I'm not going to do 2 rakats, I'm going to do 5 rakats or 4 rakats Fajr. If I do 4 rakat Dhuhr, I'm going to do 4 rakat Fajr as well, because I want to pray. I want to pray more to Allah. You can't do that. Fajr is only 2. So even that spiritual food has to be done in a balance according to the amount prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then again, ending off, and when it comes to the a'mal is like the food for the spiritual body, for the ruh. So in terms of a'mal also, you have to make sure that you carry out, so actions are like the food for the ruh. You have to do good actions that will be food that will nourish the soul, and staying away from evil deeds and bad actions, so that, because those are like a poison for the body, for the spiritual body. So doing good actions, staying away from bad actions, and that's in that there's categories. You have farad, wajib, sunnah, etc. You have to do it according to that. And then even from staying away, you have those actions which are haram, makruh, tahrim, makruh, tanzih. You have to stay away to them, stay away from them in a manner according to their level of severity. So this is the needs of the spiritual body. Inshallah, we'll continue this, talking about this next week when we get an opportunity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and correct understanding of our deen.